So basically, Image came to us and asked if we would do the small installments in the back of Image Plus because they knew we were already working on Arc 2. Jock and I started Arc 2 about, it was a while ago. We started working on it in earnest, I guess, in fall winter. I handed him like a breakdown of the arc and we sort of started talking about it. So they were like, you're underway with that. Do you want to do something to promote it by doing a few installments in the back of Image Plus? And I started writing a story that was supposed to just be a few installments and then got longer and became about a 50 to 60 page story that tells the backstory of a character that's one of the two major players in Arc 2. So Arc 2 picks up with Sailor about 3 years after we saw her, because it's real time from when we started Wytches last time. And she's joined up with the Irons, the group that goes around the world, America in particular, hunting witches and knocking out their burrows. And she's mentoring under a boy who's about a year older than her, whose family is one of the kind of great witch hunting families in the history of the country. And she herself is from one of the families that's historically one of the most powerful sort of witch associated families there has been. So they're sort of completely diametrically opposed. And the story we're doing in Image Plus tells the history of the boy, Sebastian, who she's essentially training under. So it shows him growing up. It talks about how he's actually, this is a spoiler I'm sure, but the son of Clara, who was a woman in our first arc, who was sort of the woman from the Irons that comes and warns the Rook's family about witches in general. So it sort of all ties in, where the Image Plus serialized story is going to tell the backstory of Sebastian, and then Arc 2 begins with Sailor as the main character and takes place in the Southwest and then in the Northeast at the end, and follows her growth and her sort of initiation into this group, the Irons. And you learn a lot about witch mythology and history and all that stuff, because now that she's a part of this organization, I have that all at my fingertips, where I can show you the maps and show you all the stuff that we planned out a few years ago for sort of the bigger elements that we didn't get to address, I think, in the first arc. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be sort of a 1-2 punch of Wytches stuff, all fall through winter. The Image Plus starts in August, and then the second arc will start in late fall, early winter. And we're about halfway, almost done with the Image Plus story, and then we're going straight into the arc. So we're just going to keep going and produce 2 in a row really fast for you guys. So I'm excited. I love that series, and I missed it, so I'm very excited to be back at it.
You're the creator of work, AD After Death, just finished. It's been optioned from Sony already.
Yeah.
You had a dream actor in mind that you want to play Jonah?
No, I always joke, like, Jeff and I are like, as long as we get to be immortal people up on the mountain together. And then he's like, I wouldn't be immortal if I was with you, and neither you neither, dude. But no, I think with those things, you just sort of put it out of your head. Same with Wytches, I think right now comics is such a robust industry that film and TV, they're very quick to snatch up a lot of things. But a lot of us, you just keep focused on the print, on the books, because you never know if that's going to happen, and if it did, that'd be great, but we don't put a lot in it. It's more just sort of, trying to do the next project in this medium and not worry about it too much.
Did I overhear you say, when you were talking to a fan, that you wanted to move All-Star Batman over to Vertigo when it relaunches?
Well, no, I'm going to do some more stuff. I'm going to do American Vampire at Vertigo when it relaunches.
Okay.
So American Vampire is going to come back, but they're doing a big sort of, they want to do a lot of new projects at Vertigo now that Mark Doyle has taken it over, and they're going to kind of do a new introduction to that imprint. So I was saying that I'd really like to bring American Vampire back in a big way, in that way, with a new format and all that stuff. So Rafa and I have the last 2 arcs of this kind of cycle planned, or of the third, I guess what they're going to call the third cycle, but sort of the end of this story that has to do with the Beast Under the Ground and the Great Trader and all the stuff that we set up. So with that, so yeah, it's an exciting
continuation, or when Vertigo relaunching, you're going to be
Yeah, it'll be a continuation of what we're doing, but it might be in a new print format or that kind of stuff. We'll figure it out. Like, essentially, we want to launch it when we have it all planned. We just want to do it when is the most optimal time, both for Vertigo itself and for the series, to make sure that it's part of something that, you know, is about what Vertigo is going to be and all that stuff, because we're excited about what Mark might do with it and what the company has the potential to become. So, you know.
Metal is what everyone's talking about right now. Other than metal, what one word would you use to describe what you guys are doing?
Oh, I was always saying, like, if it was like if Kirby and Frazetta had a baby to like a heavy metal soundtrack, it was sort of like this. Like, it's, you know, Joker dragons and robots and dinosaurs and all that. So I just want it to be something where it's a personal story. I mean, it's about things that matter to me and Greg, about the ways in which history can kind of fall backwards very suddenly, and you can find yourself in a dark time. Batman sort of learns that lesson quickly. But what it's really about is the Justice League discover the existence of a dark multiverse, which is essentially based on my 5-year-old loves Cosmos. He loves Cosmos dearly. He calls Neil deGrasse Tyson Cosmo. But I became really fixated with this notion, with the discovery of dark matter and dark energy, that our universe is comprised of vastly more dark energy and dark matter than positive and negative matter, things that we can't, things that we can perceive. So essentially, like, the universe being made up of 80+% things that are imperceivable to us, that essentially affect our universe in ways that are actual or are detectable, is terrifying and also kind of wondrous at once. So I was trying to figure out a way to make a story that would have the Justice League through Batman and this mystery that goes back through the Court of Owls even earlier, through Grant stuff. It addresses all kinds of Grant stuff too. Batman sort of discovered the existence of this through this mystery that goes through Hawkman and early Batman stuff to now. And the Justice League kind of fall into this mystery where they realize that the dark multiverse is almost about to come here in a certain way. So, in a particular way. But that Batman is kind of the fulcrum for this in a way. And that he, as a human hero and as, you know, one of the only character on the Justice League, let's say, that has no powers or whatever, is kind of representative of our own ambition, our own determination, our own sense of, you know, of heroism and accomplishment. If the thing kind of lurking down there can make us believe that he's actually been a vehicle, like a Trojan horse, for history to sort of everything to go backwards and fall into the darkness, you know, then it will have won. And so in that way, it's a story that is kind of totally bonkers and has the discovery that our cosmology is much bigger than we thought. And then on the other hand, is meant to also be, you know, personal, and the same way we tried to do on Batman in general. But now we have all the toys at our disposal, so it's sort of like everybody from Mr. Terrific to Dr. Fate to, they're all, like, everybody and their mother plays a part in this one, just because we want it to feel big and crazy the way the best DCU things do. So for me, really, it's a joy to get to do, and above all, like I said, it's a personal story, but I really want people to be able to have fun this summer with it and feel like it can kind of release their inner rock god and just, you know, celebrate the fun of comics as well. So it is meant to be sort of celebratory and out of control and zany and all those things that I think are the best aspects of DC events. And yet, hopefully, people will see it has heart. It's about things that Greg and I talk about privately too. So, I don't know. I'm really excited about it.